Hello and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. We have two 80 proof blended Irish whiskeys. Um, I did a Canadian one earlier because I realized I had skipped McAdams. So disgusted. And McAdams is a great bargain. If you say, "Oh, I'm kind of short on money," or you might just say, "I have money, but I don't want to spend a lot on whiskey. What's a good whiskey I could buy for less than $10?" And the answer is clear. McAdams Canadian blended whiskey, aged 3 years in ex-bourbon barrels, introduced in 1987, $8.49 for a liter bottle. You heard me right, a liter bottle at Total Wine and More. That is a jewel. That is a jewel. Boy, if the whiskey people heard me talking about that, they'd be so angry. I'd be canceled out because you're not supposed to be able to get good whiskey for no $8.49. But the weird thing is, you can do it. Okay, but anyway, now we travel to the Irish Republic. You know, Ireland is one island. It's full of people who are called the Irish. But Ireland is cut into two pieces. There's the Irish Republic with their own president. They have their own elected president. And then there's the area known as Northern Ireland, which is still part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. It's a British territory under King Charles III. You say, whose side do you take? Whose side do you take? Tell me now. Well, I don't take either side. I don't live in Ireland. I practice neutrality in thought as well as in deed. Okay, Jeep and Foodie says, good morning, Ron, checking in. I was just thinking about you a while back, Jeep and Foodie. It's good to hear from you. That makes sense, right? Just thinking about you a while back. Well, if I wasn't oxymoronic, I would just be moronic. All right. Well, Paddy's, established in 1779. Well, that's when the distillery was established. But anyway, it does go back that far. But it wasn't called Paddy's until the 1900s, like around 1912 or something like that. This was a guy, Paddy Flaherty, or Paddy O'Flaherty, depending on which part of the website you're looking at. Looks like the company doesn't know what his name is. But he was a salesman, and he went around Ireland trying to get people to try this great Irish whiskey. And people would say, I want to try that Paddy's whiskey, the one that Patrick was selling, Patrick Flaherty or O'Flaherty. Let me try the one that Paddy's selling. So then the company says it's gotten so popular, like Dos Equis beer. It wasn't called Dos Equis beer, but the people kept calling it 2X's. So they said, well, just call it 2X's. So Paddy's probably realized that somebody was going to get that trademark. Paddy's hurried up and trademarked Paddy's Old Irish Whiskey, blend of grain, malt, and pot still. They use three types of whiskey. Grain whiskey, which is probably about 80% of it is corn, grain whiskey. Malt whiskey, single malt whiskey, and pot stilled whiskey. And then those three are triple distilled. So they do 3 times and then plus 3 times. Okay. A lot of people love this whiskey, and it is only $19.99. Cork Distillers Company Limited, Middleton, Cork, Ireland. So at the Middleton Distillery, same people that make Jameson, but they're doing it under contract for the Sazerac Company. It says imported and bottled by Sazerac, and that's at Buffalo Trace, Frankfort, Kentucky, where it's bottled. This is the new label. The old label has different colors for the different regions of Ireland: northern, western, eastern, and southern. 40%, aged 3 years, says on the back, aged 3 years. There is a Paddy's honey liqueur, which I've never had. My friend David says it's all right. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Here's the one I've been dealing with, Kavanagh. Kavanagh does not say triple distilled. It says traditional distillation. What does that mean? I thought the traditional way was triple, but it doesn't say that. Imported by Sorrenti Imports, 70, what am I saying? 80 proof, 40% alcohol. It says Kavanagh's, they didn't bother putting an apostrophe. Kavanagh's finest Irish whiskey has a distinctive sweet nose and smooth taste. I don't believe taste can be smooth. I think the mouthfeel is smooth. The mouthfeel is smooth, like it's either bitey or smooth. The body will either be light, medium, or heavy. Making an Irish whiskey for any occasion. Oh, I agree with that. You could have this at any occasion. I think. Like a taste challenge, for instance. Kavanagh Irish whiskey, oak casks. But what they don't tell you is that it is distilled by Teeling Distillery. Teeling. And you won't ever find this on the Teeling website. You'll never find this on the Teeling website. I couldn't. This is the purple label. It's also going for $19.99 at Total Wine & More, but I bought it for $17.99 before the price went up. Thanks, JB, for your JB inflation. All right. There's also a Kavanagh single malt. Single malts, Irish, not Scotch. There's also Kavanagh single grain. You use one type of grain. I don't know anything about it, haven't researched it. There's Kavanagh like ruby port cask, Kavanagh sherry, cream sherry cask, Kavanagh, like cognac all those varieties. Got a foil cap cover for the Paddies. Now look, if you shop around, you might see some bottles say Paddy. But a lot of bottles, like the one I bought, say Paddies. And this is real cork. This is not rubber, neoprene. This is not pressboard cork. It's an actual piece of cork. Now that's nice. That's nice. I was talking to a priest, Father Terry from Ireland one time. He was saying, yeah, I like Paddies. I said, Paddies? But that was before I bought the bottle. He said, I like Paddies. And then he was saying, why are we talking about whiskey and confession? I say, well, something to talk about, I guess. But, it's like, it's morally neutral. Whiskey is morally neutral. It's not good or bad. It's just a product. Now, you say, what about how you use it? Now, that's different because you could abuse it, be drinking all day, down and out, losing your job, getting in trouble with your family and friends, ruining your life. Well, that would be morally destructive. That would be a sinful lifestyle. Of course, you say, yeah, but your culpability could be reduced by personal problems. Yeah, I understand all that, but I'm saying, it would still be a bad practice. The result would be terrible. But and I don't know why we got talking about Irish whiskey and confession, but confession, you have sins on your heart, you go to confession, or reconciliation is the modern term. Make an honest, you want to be honest, So, but obviously the goal is God wants you to go to heaven. Come to me, and don't be obstinate. And we can be obstinate with kind of like anything. A child is naturally obstinate. Look at a child in their original sin, right? That's an example because you don't have to train a child to be obstinate. You don't have to train a child to be greedy or selfish well, it's the same thing. Greedy or aggressive or anything. They just be fighting, little kids that just start arguing and bite each other and fight. That's the natural way. It's not the correct way, but it's based on that problem that occurred a while back. Okay, but we have free will, which is a gift. We're not robotons. robots. It's very light, straw gold, and this one is a little darker. We're not matter in motion as our socialist adversaries will claim. You're just matter in motion. You have no purpose in life. You're just molecules. Whether you live or die is irrelevant to the future of the universe and the planet. Although you may notice that they never volunteer themselves for that great altruistic sacrifice or their family. It's always you and your family, which would indicate some perhaps dishonesty on their part. Obviously. Jeep and Foodie says, sinful humans are not born with self-control. That is a learned trait. You have to learn self-control, and that's why children have to be raised correctly. And they may or may not follow the correct instruction, but is a much better chance that if you raise a child in the way he should go, that when he's older, he'll not depart from it. When you're raised with no guidance, the probabilities for disaster increase exponentially, correct? Just watch Andy Griffith. What was that, a 1961 or 62 episode where the hobo was on the train and influencing? It was sort of like an allegory, like the episode was like allegorical. It was like Adam and Eve in the garden, and like Opie was Adam, and the hobo was the serpent, the devil, Satan. Buddy, not Buddy Guy, not Buddy Lee, the little Gene guy. The Jed Clampett, you know what I'm talking about. He can't think of his name. I'm talking about Barnaby Jones, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, right? Well, you're right. Cheers, Mr. Terrio, says Arthur Lang. Thank you, Arthur and Slippery Pete and Jeep and Foodie and all these other alias name people. So Barnaby Jones was telling Opie, you don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. You could just be free. And then Andy, the sheriff, would say he's influencing my child to be a bum like him, a hobo, a worthless wastrel. Do I watch Netflix? No, I've never watched Netflix, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So then Andy, then the hobo was stealing pie later. Of course, he's a thief. That's part of the allegory. He was a born liar, a thief, a killer, a murderer. And so he says, oh yeah, I found this pie laying around. Mm-hmm. And he was telling him, when you let a child do anything they want, then they're going to go after anything that's glittery and shiny, like ornaments, Christmas ornaments. But you have to teach them to work hard and sacrifice and whatever. And he told the hobo, Barnaby Jones, he said, Jed Clampett, he said, if it was me, I'd be getting on that next train and getting on out of here. And he said, oh, okay. And he got on that train, got out of there, went to the next town to perpetuate his evil. So that was kind of an allegory about the Garden of Eden, But it was a very good episode. But anyway, and it was true. It is true that New Orleans Police Department was known for corruption for many years. Yeah, I don't know how that's related to what we're doing here. But anyway, so is New York Police Department. Chicago, we might add. Let's see. Yeah, it just smelled like grain and oak. I mean, it's nothing remarkable, but I must say, Irish whiskey is sort of like that. It's like nothing remarkable, but yet it's remarkable in a subtle way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very, it's not overt. You know what I mean? It's like covert. So, some people are too busy being like loud, proud, and around. Like a bull in a china shop. So Irish whiskey, it doesn't work for them because they can't deal with subtlety. Everything has to be like flashy lights and pinwheels and explosions and so many fantastic colors. And if it's got subtlety, but it can't get it. All right. So anyway, here we go. Yeah. So that's wood and dough bread. Like I'll say bread dough. You say what kind of like cornbread? No, it's interesting. It's not cornbread. It's like wheat, but not wheat because they're not using wheat. But like barley. I've never had. Did I have barley bread? Hmm. Wasn't that the type of bread that was used when bread was turned into when they multiplied the loaves and the fishes? They when Jesus Christ multiplied loaves and fishes. Wasn't it barley loaves? But I don't know much about the Levant, the Near East. Only thing I know about the Near East is that their food tastes like Lebanese and Greek. It all tastes the same. It's like a lot of lamb, sour cream, onions, bread. I call them tortillas, but they call them something else. But it's the same type of food, which makes sense if you study the history of the area. Oh, Cypriot food, Cyprus, Syrian probably would be the same thing. This is the same, but it does seem to possibly have more corn and possibly less oak. But they're close. They're close, 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 close. The price is close, like identical. So we got Teeling Distillery making Kavanagh. We got Middleton Distillery, Irish distillers making Paddy. Who's the winner? Well, I mean, in this case, probably going to be a tie. Going to be both going to be winners, and neither are going to be losers. So here we go. Same old story. When I say that about Irish whiskey, it sounds like I'm saying negative things like same old story. But it's the same old story of like vanilla cream, sweetness, sugar, bread dough type of thing. But that's not indicative of it being bad. It's just the same old. They're like very similar one to the other so far. Now the Black Bush from Bushmills has got more cachet going on. I mean, more cachet with it, more action going on, but it's a more developed product. It's aged 8 years in Oloroso sherry barrels, so you would assume that it's going to be a little different. It's $30, not $19.99. This even has like a honeydew melon type thing, but not profound like the Heaven Hill blended whiskeys from the United States that just taste like honeydew melon. It's like, what is so wrong about these products? And it's sort of like an unpleasant presentation. It's like, oh, why did I buy this? Then you say, oh yeah, it was $6.99. But it's This is nothing like that. This is like really smooth. Both of these are really smooth. All right. The appearance, not much difference. The aroma, not much difference. The price, well, it's the same. The body, yeah, both medium body. The finish, medium long, I guess. Sort of like a lot of vanilla. Jeep and Foodie said, I don't know if the scriptures specify what type of bread Jesus fed the crowd. I thought it was barley loaves. But I could be wrong. You're right. They probably use some sort of flat bread or maybe almost pita bread. Yeah. So I mean, it's like I'm drinking the same thing twice. It's wood, oak. I mean, the Paddy's ex oak. They're both ex bourbon barrels or ex American whiskey barrels. More than likely, I can't say definitively. They're both easy drinking, smooth, nice. The same price, just 4 cents less, a penny less than $20. Um, Availability, I can find Paddy's around. Everybody does not sell it. Walmart has it, but then sometimes they don't. But usually they do. But like I said, sometimes they don't. Total Wine has both. Rouse's carries Paddy's. I don't think they carry Kavanagh. I know Total Wine carries both, at least here. I mean, just try them. I would say, yeah, try them. If you like real mild, mellow, I really like Irish whiskey. People say, because you're weak. It's not about being weak. It's I prefer that vanilla and bread dough flavor. If you're like really obsessed with charred oak, that's fine. Go drink a bunch of heavily charred oak bourbons. I don't take issue with that. I got a bunch here. Not my preference, but I got a bunch. If you want super smoky peated scotch, go drink that. Well, I do like that. I'll admit I like that even more than the vanilla and the bread dough. But yeah, these are really cool. I'd like to try that doggone Sexton. The Sexton. I keep putting it off, and there's no good excuse for it. I really need to buy it. I mean, I need to buy it. You know what I'm saying? As far as the hobby, not in reality needing to buy it, but never dreamed these would be so close. I don't think the drum castle is going to be though. That doggone drum castle it's unique. Ain't gonna say it's the greatest thing. Got a little bite to it, but got it on sale both times. Both times I hit the sale, $14.99. Yeah, that's coming up a couple of days. What's my average on the Irish whiskey so far? One win, one loss. 50-50, not great. This one is turning out to be I think it's going to be 1-1-1. One win, one tie. I mean, one win, one loss, and one tie, because I'm really having a problem here. All right. So we had some good comments that were related to the products. Um, Could Kavanagh be made at? No, never mind. It's made at Teeling. What am I talking about? Never mind. Scratch that. Ignore that comment or that aborted comment. Ignore the aborted comment. I think that the one in my right hand is the Kavanagh. And it's so close. I'm telling you right now, it's a tie. It's really a tie. Just buy whatever one you want, or buy both, or buy neither, but there's no preference. But I think the Kavanagh has a little bit more creaminess to it. Now, I'm not saying it's better in that sense. It just maybe the Paddy had more wood. But I think this is Kavanagh. But it's the Paddies. Now my gut feeling was to just call it a tie. And I wanted to call it a tie, and I should have called it a tie. But then I was thinking to myself, like, nah, you need to try to really make it a contest and just call a winner. If there's like anything that's distinguishing them one from the other, and then call it. But it's just too close, and I got it wrong. So now I got 1 win and 2 losses. Well, that's not a good start, but it happens, Jeep and Foodie Caleb says, what were the price points again? Yeah, $19.99 for both. Exactly. Well, actually, that's the current price. The current price. $19.99 for Paddy's, or Paddy, depending on what bottle you find, and $19.99 for Kavanagh. But when I bought Kavanagh, no you, Kavanagh, 2 months ago, it was $17.99. And then I should have bought that Sir Robert. What is it called? Sir something Scotch. It was $9.99. I said, I'm gonna go buy it one day. This is during an inflationary period. $9.99. I'll go back to Total Wine. In one day, it went from $9.99 to $12.99. It jumped $3 in one day. I said, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to buy it. They still had the Glenlodgie for $9.99, so I bought the Glenlodgie. But I wanted to buy that Sir Robert, but I said I ain't paying, $3 more for it. But anyway, oh, heck. So, oh, well, 1 win, 2 losses. But I have a feeling that I'm going to gain ground. So my thinking is I'm going to gain ground. Like when I bring in the Drum Castle, then I'm going to be 2-2. And then when I bring in Tullamore Dew, DEW, Tullamore Daniel DEW, I think I'll win with that. So that'd be 3-2. Then Jameson, it's got a little distinctive, but it's not much. A little distinctiveness, but not much. 4-2. And then once I bring in Bushmills, ain't no way I'm going to get those wrong. No way. No way I'm going to confuse Bushmills. They're so distinct and delicious. So the Bushmills original, the white label, the Black Bush, 8-year aged Black label, and the Red Bush. Oh, no. So I think I'm going to end up with a winning record. Yes, a winning record. And then it's on to single malt Scotch. I can't wait. I scored a bottle of exclusive VSOP cognac for $14.99. That's the name of the brand, exclusive. I'm not familiar with that, but I mean, there's like, I bet you there's over 1,000 cognac brands on the market. I'm not joking about that. I bet you there's over 1,000 cognac brands on the market, and that's not even that big of an area in France. But you know how that works. But anyway, y'all take care, and oh well, we'll see what happens next. We got Drum Castle coming up probably in 2 days, unless I